Aisha was born in a small, struggling town where life seemed more about survival than chasing dreams. Yet from the moment she could walk, she discovered a love for running. Her father, a construction laborer, earned barely enough for daily meals, while her mother stitched clothes late into the night to make ends meet. Aisha had no fancy shoes, no proper sports gear, no professional training, and often had to practice barefoot on rocky paths or run along dusty lanes that cut her feet and made her knees bleed. Still, every time her feet hit the ground, she felt free, as if nothing in the world could hold her down. The wind seemed to carry her forward, and in those moments, she was not poor, not constrained, not burdened, she was limitless. Her dream of becoming a world-class athlete was born in those fleeting moments of joy, though to her neighbors and relatives, it seemed foolish and impossible. They told her to focus on school, learn household chores, or prepare for a realistic career instead of wasting her energy on running. The first time she entered a school race, at age 12, she borrowed a pair of oversized, worn-out sneakers from her cousin. She sprinted with all her might, her heart pounding, but soon lost her balance, stumbled, and finished second last. Classmates laughed at her mismatched clothes and awkward shoes, while polite applause for the winners only served to highlight her defeat. At home, her father sighed in disappointment, suggesting she drop the idea entirely, but her mother hugged her tightly and whispered, "Failure does not mean the end, Beta. It only means you have to try again, smarter and stronger." Those words became the fuel that lit a fire deep inside Aisha.
Over the next few years, she ran every day. Sometimes early in the morning before the sun rose, sometimes in the sweltering heat of midday. She ran along cracked pavements, through fields of jagged stones, and even along slippery riverbanks, imagining stadiums, cheering crowds, and medals. But despite her dedication, she kept losing. District competitions, local races, and school events became chronicles of near victories and heartbreaks. She would often sit alone beneath the old banyan tree near her home, tears streaming down her face, questioning why life seemed determined to hold her back. At times, she considered quitting entirely, imagining a life of safety and ordinary work. But each time she tried to give up, the memory of the wind rushing past her as she ran would pull her back. By the age of 16, the repeated failures had begun to weigh heavily on her spirit. Her father, worried for her future, insisted she stop chasing what he called a hopeless dream and help her mother with sewing. She walked to the river one evening, staring at her own reflection in the rippling water, contemplating surrender. But in the quiet of her heart, she whispered, "If I give up now, I will regret it forever." That night, she made a vow. No matter how many times she failed, she would not stop running, not stop striving, not stop believing. It was around this time that fate intervened. Coach Rajan, a retired national athlete, came to watch a local meet, and though Aisha did not win, he saw the fire in her eyes and the raw speed in her legs. He approached her afterwards, saying, "You run like a wild horse, full of power but no direction. With proper guidance, you could go far." Aisha felt hope bloom for the first time. Under his mentorship, her days transformed. Mornings began at 5 a.m. with grueling laps across uneven tracks. She lifted buckets filled with sand, jumped over improvised hurdles, and practiced controlled breathing until her lungs screamed. Coach Rajan taught her about discipline, focus, and patience, reminding her repeatedly, greatness is forged in persistence, not luck. Even so, progress was slow. In her first few competitions under his guidance, she still fell short. But this time, each failure felt like a lesson, a necessary step in the long journey toward success. Just as Aisha began to see improvement, a major setback struck. During a district championship, she twisted her ankle badly, and doctors prescribed 6 months of rest. For someone whose life revolved around running, this felt like a death sentence. She lay on her bed, frustrated and tearful, feeling her dreams slipping away.
But Coach Rajan never wavered. He visited her weekly, showing her alternative exercises, guiding her mentally, and reminding her injuries heal, but the fire inside must never go out. When she returned to the track, she was slower, her muscles weaker, and the doubts were louder. Yet with every stride, every breath, every aching muscle, she rebuilt herself stronger, fueled by the lessons of pain and patience. At 18, Aisha earned her first bronze medal at a state-level meet. It was a small victory, but to her it felt monumental. The smile on her mother's face and the pride in her father's eyes made all the previous pain worthwhile. She hugged the medal tightly, tears streaming, whispering a promise to herself. This was only the beginning. She trained harder than ever, sometimes running until her feet bled, practicing early mornings without breakfast, running late evenings after long days of schoolwork, refusing to let discomfort dictate her limits. Slowly, silvers followed, then golds at regional and national competitions. Her name appeared in newspapers and magazines, her story spreading in her hometown. The girl who had once run barefoot along dusty lanes was now a symbol of hope and determination. Her father, who had once doubted her, proudly introduced her as "my daughter the athlete" to anyone who would listen. Years of relentless dedication eventually earned her a spot on the national team. Traveling abroad for the first time, she marveled at stadiums that could seat tens of thousands, crowds that roared with every athlete's performance, and competitors whose skill and experience dwarfed her own. Yet she was not afraid. On the day of the international finals, as she stood at the starting line, memories of every past failure flashed before her eyes. The laughter of classmates, her father's doubts, the long months of training, the injuries, the tears under the banyan tree. Her heart pounded, but she whispered, "This is my moment. I will not waste it." The gun fired, and she propelled herself forward with every ounce of strength and resilience. The race was intense, competitors pressing, lungs burning, legs aching, but she refused to falter. Crossing the finish line first, she realized she had done it. Gold. Victory. Triumph. The girl who had stumbled, cried, and been mocked countless times was now a world-class champion. Today, Aisha travels the world not just to compete, but to inspire. She visits schools and villages, speaking to children who remind her of her younger self, telling them, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every time I fell, every time I lost, I was learning, preparing, and becoming stronger. I failed countless times, but I never quit, and that is why I stand here today. Her story, from a barefoot girl running along dusty lanes to a world champion celebrated internationally, proves that persistence, courage, and belief in oneself can turn even the most impossible dream into reality. Every scar, every tear, every moment of despair was a step toward greatness. And her journey reminds millions that as long as you rise one more time than you fall, nothing is beyond your reach.
There are some suggestions for viewers. 1. Embrace failure as a teacher. Every setback is a lesson. Like Aisha, understand that failing doesn't mean you're incapable, it means you're learning and preparing for the next step. Analyze what went wrong and use it to improve. 2. Never give up on your dream. Persistence is key. Even if the world doubts you, hold on to your vision. Success rarely comes overnight, but continuous effort, like Aisha's daily training, will take you closer to your goal. 3. Find a mentor or guide. Seek someone experienced who can guide you. Just like Coach Rajan helped Aisha, a mentor can provide valuable advice, correct your mistakes, and push you beyond your limits. 4. Celebrate small wins. Don't wait for the big victory to feel proud. Every small achievement, like winning a local medal, finishing a challenging task, or improving a skill, is a step forward. It fuels motivation and confidence. 5. Build mental strength. Challenges, injuries, or criticism can discourage anyone. Work on resilience and focus.
Meditation, visualization, and positive self-talk can strengthen your mind as much as physical training strengthens your body. 6. Work hard even when no one is watching. True success comes from consistent effort behind the scenes. Aisha ran barefoot, trained in harsh conditions, and pushed herself when nobody believed in her. Your dedication matters more than recognition. 7. Turn doubts into fuel. Let criticism or self-doubt motivate you rather than paralyze you. Every negative word or failure can be transformed into energy to work harder and smarter. 8. Be patient. Great achievements take time. Aisha spent years improving and recovering from setbacks before reaching the world stage. Understand that growth is gradual and success is cumulative. 9. Take care of your body and mind. Training is important, but so is rest, nutrition, and mental well-being. Balancing all aspects ensures you can perform at your best consistently. 10. Inspire others. Once you start achieving, share your journey. Your story can motivate countless others, just as Aisha inspires millions now. Helping others can also reinforce your own purpose and drive.